I'm just gonna give it one more minute to make sure that everybody's here. Okay, we can get started. And hello, everyone. My name is Natalie. I am a new member of the Lily Web Committee, and I'll be moderating this session. I am an MLIS student, and I'm so happy to meet everyone and be part of this amazing group. And Lily, this is Lily's Show and Tell series. Lily stands for Lifelong Information Literacy, and we're a group of librarians and information professionals who work to promote lifelong information literacy. Before we begin, I have a couple of quick housekeeping items. This session is being recorded and the recording will be sent out by the end of the week. Feel free to put questions in the chat and I'll keep an eye on them. And then finally, if you want to learn more about Lily or presenting your own show and tell, make sure to email April. Her name is on her Zoom link. And feel free to also email me and I'll put the Zoom link on the chat as well. And now to our speaker, Jenny Jacobs, a research, instruction, and outreach librarian at Texas Tech University.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a little show and tell about the program called Miro. So let's go ahead and just get started. Now, if you want to move along with me, feel free to do that. It's just Miro.com, and I'll put that in the chat. I want this to be kind of like an interactive show and tell to where I'm going through, and if you have questions while I'm going through it, feel free to interject and everything like that. So a little bit about me. My name, as Natalie said, is Jenny. I use pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a STEM librarian at Texas Tech University within the research research instruction and outreach unit. At Texas Tech University, and I've been using Miro now since I was in my previous position. So I used to be a marketing and outreach librarian, and Miro was really great for me to kind of keep everything organized, as well as use it to interact with students, faculty, and staff. So what is Miro? So this is from their website. So it's a little like not preachy, but it's really giving you what Miro is. And so it's a team visual platform to kind of connect, collaborate, and create. And the big thing about Miro is that it's really there for collaboration between yourself and other people. That can be coworkers, that can be students, that can be community members, depending on what kind of library you work at. And as I said, it's called an online collaborative whiteboard platform. So when you look at it, and we'll get into it here in a second, you'll see a huge grid, and that's basically your whiteboard that you can kind of move around on. And so it's supposed to help you work more effectively together. You can do brainstorming, do workflows, planning, just a whole host of things. And actually, you can do a presentation. So this is what Miro looks like, and I'm going to keep zooming out to show you just how big it actually is. So this is a giant whiteboard, basically, that you can go in and use, and you can navigate with your mouse and everything like that. Now, I do want to, before we get into this, say that I'm using the free version. So that means that some of the things in the free version are going to be limited. So if you want to get a paid version, I suggest speaking with the dean or whoever is higher up that makes purchasing decisions. I did have a paid version, and it was very nice to be able to kind of use the features that you cannot use without paying, but the free version is very great. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So I'm actually going to back out of my board real quick, and I'm going to click on this Miro right here to show you what it looks like when you actually log in. So if you just go to Miro.com, hopefully it takes us to, oh no, it's going to take me to my dashboard. Let me go just Miro. So if you just put Miro into Google and you click on the Miro.com, you should have the ability to sign up instead of sign in. And when you first sign in, this is what it looks like. So you have your own team. And right now I'm on the TTU library team. That's just the basic name that I have for this one. Previously, it was my other institutions team. And then all your boards are going to be right here. Now, with the free version, I believe you're only allowed up to 3 boards. But as you saw previously, the boards are so giant that you can fit so much on them. And then the really great thing that they have that I love about Miro is the templates that they have. So up here, when you go to create a board, you can choose a template to use. I like to go in and just create a blank board. And we're going to click in this board where my presentation is. And then you can add templates to it. So I'm going to basically just kind of explain how to use it, the different features and stuff like that. One thing to notice is that if you're using a mouse and keyboard, the right click is to highlight and the left click is to move around. So you get this little hand here that you can move, anything like that. Now, if you go over here and you click on the mouse button, to take it off of that, it will automatically be a hand that you can move the board around with. The scroll button in the middle of your mouse gets you to zoom in and zoom out, or you can always use the little zoom in and zoom out here. You can make it a full screen. You can make it, you can pin things on the map, and you can make it completely fit the screen as well. Now, I never click on this to make it always be a hand, just because I like the function of being able to select things with one click and then move them around. And then if I have to move around the board, I just right click and move like this. So next on your little sidebar here is the templates. I'm actually going to come back to templates because there's so much in it. So we're going to skip that and we're going to go to text. Obviously, this is, for a text box. So you can, and I'm going to zoom in because it usually goes in pretty small. And here you can just type anything. And you can see that it's currently white. So I'm just going to highlight it. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the text color. You get this little nifty box that comes up. So if you highlight everything, you can make it a different text. You can make it bigger or smaller, and see, as it gets bigger, it moves. So you just got to move with it. You can link it to something. So if you wanted to put something within a team and link it to maybe an outside source, you can do that. And one of the important features with Miro that I like that Canva also has is this lock feature. So once you hit that, you cannot move or select what you're doing. So when you're working on something like a presentation, if you want to lock the backgrounds of that presentation, you can. And then that way, when you're moving things around the board, you're not actually moving the board itself. So that's really nice. I really appreciate that. Are you gonna, nope. Okay, let me go back up to my text. And then you just long press to unlock. And there we go. It's completely unlocked. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Next is also a really great function, and that's the sticky note. So if you used any kind of collaborative feature or program, sticky notes are very popular. And what's really great is you get that color, you get to choose your color, and then you put down the sticky note. You can make it as big as you want. And then you type on it. Now this is really great for collaboration because you can assign people different colors and they would write what they need to. So say you're doing a brainstorming session and you give people a topic, and then what you tell them to do is you tell them to come on here, take as many sticky notes as you can and put your ideas on that sticky note. From there, you can go up here and go to cluster objects, and you can actually cluster them by color, by tag, or by author, and you can create your own cluster as well. So as you're brainstorming, you can sit there and move things or cluster things together by whatever you define that they need to be clustered by. And then also, let me click back on that. You can go up here in this little bar, you can show who did it. So my name is going to show up there, and then you can add tags to it. So I'm going to add the tag of presentation, and I'm going to create that, and it shows the tag on the actual sticky note. And then you can also add an emoji, which I find very fun. So if I'm not a giant fan of this, I can give the oh no face is what I call it. And then if you like something that somebody said or anything like that, you can hit this comment button, and you can see that it's connected to this actual sticky note, and then you can add a comment. Go ahead and hit send, and then that's automatically in with the sticky note, and you can move it around so that it's not like right in the middle of it. And when you click on that, the comment shows up. You can resolve the comment, you can unfollow or follow a thread, and then you can continuously write on it. So this is, you know, the collaboration aspect of it. If you go on these three dots, you can pin it somewhere, you can copy a link. So if you put a link in something, you can copy that, or you can just plain old delete it. So here is the sticky notes. As I said here, you can also do a bulk mode. So this is really great for brainstorming because then you can just type as much as you want. So Lily presentation, Miro. And then once you're done, you click on done, and it gives you all of the sticky notes that you have. And then from there, of course, you can cluster them. So if we cluster by color, you can go ahead and you can edit the cluster. Let me select them and then cluster by color. There we go. And then you can name this cluster. You can, let's go ahead and name this cluster just presentation. And then if you collect them again, you can go and you can align the objects however you want to. You can group the objects together. That's basically like a cluster, but when you group them together, it actually moves as one. So if you wanted to have this as kind of one block, you would group them together. And then if you want to move something out of it, you can always ungroup, and then you can actually click out of it and then move something else other. So if you wanted these two to be their own cluster, you would highlight them, and then you would hit cluster, and then however you want to cluster it, I'm going to group these together and I'm going to move these over here. And then you would edit this cluster name, and we're just going to do intro. And there we go. So now you have the two clusters, and you can kind of move them around the board however you want to. So really great for brainstorming and collecting ideas from different people. I like to use this with students. So when we're talking about the research project process with my students, I always ask them to brainstorm either synonyms for their keywords or to just brainstorm ideas for their actual research question. So I teach a Library 1100 class, and so we do this exercise to where they do bulk sticky notes, and then all they have to do is they just go in and they kind of brain dump, which I really appreciate. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this and just delete it. Okay, so next is shapes. Just like in Word. So when you have the insert shape, that's basically what this is. So you would just hit a shape, you'd click where you want it, and then you can make it as big or as small as you want. You can fill it in, or you can make it transparent. You can change the type of shape that you want right here. So if you wanted it to be maybe an image box, you could do that and change the actual function of it. And then here you would type in what you want. So this is good for a timeline. So if you have multiple different projects, so say presentation was a project, you could do, oh, I spelled that wrong. Presentation. So get ready, create presentation for webinar. So for this, the status, since I'm obviously done with that, I would put done. You would do an assignee. So the person does have to be part of your team to be able to be assigned that, but you can do that. And then you can say what dates you want it to be due and everything like that, and change the color if that's something that you're wanting. So usually I do things that are in progress in green, things that are done in red, and things that are just at the beginning process. I usually do either yellow or blue, but you would sort it however it fits for you. And then of course you can come back up if you decide, I don't want it to be like that. You can change the shape again. And so it doesn't have all the information that that tag had. And then again, if you want to change it, you know, again, you can change it again. So I like the diverseness of it, that you can come in and easily kind of change what you've done. So underneath shapes is the connection line. And so this is going to come in handy when you have when you're doing like a research tree or a mind map. And they do have templates on those, but if you wanted to create one yourself, I'm going to demonstrate with a sticky note. So I'm going to have a sticky note here, and let me zoom in for you guys. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put research question on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that connection line, and I'm going to click whichever one I want. They're all ones that connect. I'm going to click on where I want it to connect, what I want it to connect with, and then drag it to where I want to go. And then I'm going to put another sticky note on there. And this is going to be, let's see, keywords. And then if I want something from keywords, I would just go and click again and connect it, and then come down here, do another one. Let's see, presentation. And then you can also do multiple connections from one place. So if you had multiple keywords that you wanted to do, you would be able to do that. This is really cool because I like linking ideas, and you can always change the type if you wanted it to be more squiggly. Again, that's kind of more aesthetic-y than, you know, a great feature. I mean, I like it, but it's more of an aesthetic thing. The cool thing about this also is that if you move this around, it moves with it. So if I had another thing up here and I say, okay, well, I want keywords to be down here, I can move this like this, and those can be together. And then I could create another section coming from here. And then if I decide, I don't really like that, you can go ahead and you can delete this connection, and then go ahead and delete your sticky note. So great for creation. It's so diverse that you kind of are able to make your own templates with it. But as I said, when we get into templates, I will show you that they do have templates for almost literally anything that you can think of. So this is a whiteboard, so they do have the pen feature. So you can go on here and you can write however you want. You can highlight things. you can do smart drawing. So what that is like if I wanted to draw a star and I'm just not that great at drawing stars, it should automatically know that I'm drawing a star and then click together. But as I said, my drawing of a star is not very great. So let me choose something else, whoop, to kind of show you what that does. So let's see, go to smart drawing. So if I were drawing a square and it's just not that great of a square, it would automatically go into a square. You know, the same for a circle. If I'm just not that great at drawing circles, it would automatically go into the circle oval. So that's smart drawing. You've also got the eraser. So if you want to erase multiple things, you should be able to just go through. Why are you not erasing? Oh, there we go. They're erasing that because those are shapes. I bet you have to click, yep, and delete them. But the eraser is really good. It is a fun feature. I like just going like that and it just disappears. And then of course you have the lasso, which just like in Photoshop where they have the lasso, it's for you to collect multiple things. So if I lassoed those two things, I could go ahead and move them if I wanted to with the lasso. Again, you can just left click and drag to highlight things, but if you like the lasso feature more, you know, feel free to use the lasso. So right here underneath the pen, we have the comments. And like I said before, you would just it gives you this little icon on your cursor and you just take it to where you want to add a comment. And then you would just hit send. And then if you wanted to, you know, you could resolve it, change it and everything like that with all the other comments. But this just gives you the ability to make multiple, which is really nice. So if you're commenting on several things that your students did, you would be able to continuously go through instead of having to click on this select button, click on this, and then hit the comment section that jumps up. I don't know why it's being so slow with, there we go. And then click the comment section right here. So it just allows for quick and easy access to the comment feature. One of the really important features about Miro is this frame. So anything that is within a frame is going to be its own kind of separate, I don't want to say document, but its own separate entity. So if I wanted to have a frame that was like 16 by 9. Oh, okay, let's just do custom frame. Oh, there we go. Oh, because I'm still in the presentation. Let's get away from the presentation and see if it'll let me do custom. Nope. Okay, so usually when you do custom frame, it lets you kind of draw your own. But these frames are already colored in. If you click on them, you can change it to where there's no color. And then basically what the frame does is it makes it so that when you're presenting or when you're printing, the only things to be seen are things within a frame. So since this is frame 3, if I go up here to this presentation mode, it is on the frame. So this is the frame and then frame. And so if anything is outside of the frame, so say I had a sticky note that I wanted to add into this, when I go to present and I scroll over, so frame, and then of course that's the invisible frame that we had. So the sticky note does not get included, but if you wanted the sticky note to be included, if I scroll over to the sticky note and I hit frame, custom frame, and then I pull this down over here and give it its own custom frame. When I go into presentation mode, it will now include that sticky note. Okay. So that frames are really, I didn't realize when I first started using Miro how important frames are. So if you're putting together like a presentation or something like that, if you use a template, they're automatically framed. But if you're going from, if you're just starting from scratch, always remember to put a frame around everything that you want to be presented. So underneath the frame button is this upload button. And here's where you can upload literally anything you want. So you can upload from your device, you can upload from a URL, saved files, Adobe, Dropbox, Google Drive. This web clicker is one to where you drag and drop files from the web into this web clipper. As you can see, it's an extension for Google Chrome, but it can be really helpful if you're trying to get students to get associated images with their research. That way they don't have to, go find the picture, save it, and then upload it via the computer. They can just drag and drop, which is really nice. Okay, so let me get out of this, and I'm actually going to delete everything that's here. Except for that, apparently. Oh, did I lock it? I might have locked it. Let's see. Yeah, it was locked, so I couldn't delete it. Okay, so now we're starting with a fresh canvas, and we're going to go into templates. This is my favorite place to explore because they have so many different templates that you can use. So I'm just going to go to all templates, but you can see that they kind of have broken them down into different ways of using them. So if you're creating something for a meeting, if you're just doing brainstorming, workflows, mapping, really anything that you can think of is going to be in here. So I'm going to go to meeting and workshops real quick. And we're just going to kind of look through here to kind of show you what they have. So one thing that I like about these is that they have icebreakers on here. So if you scroll down, here's the presentations. So I just used one of their basic presentations. If you scroll down, they do have icebreakers that I find really, really fun. So if you roll over it, the template that you want, and you hit preview, you can use either a pre-filled template, or you can use a blank template. So I'm going to use just a pre-filled just to show you what it looks like. And when you click on that, it's going to automatically open it up. Now, since I'm zoomed so far out, it's going to look tiny, but we can, of course, just go ahead and zoom in. And the great thing with the templates is that it shows you, well, it tells you how to use it. So you would have the facilitator information, and then you would go ahead and tell them how to use this. So if you were using this as an icebreaker in, like, say, a meeting or something like that, you could have multiple people, not just Jane and Mark. You could always click on everything and then hit Control C, and then of course Control V, and it would copy everything. And so you can have multiple people just like that. These are really fun to do. So what image describes your morning? How's it been going? You're trapped in the last TV show, upload an image from that one. So really just some fun things that I appreciate. And then I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all of that. And we're going to go up to templates again, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite templates. So I like to go to mapping and diagramming. As I said, I teach a Library 1100 class, and so I like to teach them how to do mind mapping. So usually I go to either Concept Map or Mind Map to use these. I like the aesthetics of the Concept Map more, but if you scroll down, you can see that there are just, hundreds and hundreds of templates that you can use for mapping and diagramming different things. So I usually use this concept map. So I'm going to hit use. And it already comes in with all the connectors and everything that you need. So if I was doing this for a research question, I would put my research question here. And then I would do keywords here. And then, I don't know, like other subjects to consider. And then here, with these connecting lines, you can actually change what they say, or you can get rid of it completely if you don't think it's necessary. So connecting ideas. And as I said, everything is movable. So if I decide that I want this to kind of go over this way, it automatically adjusts itself, which is really fun. Let me scroll down. If I wanted to edit how this is, so say I didn't want to link it to that. If you click on the, and I'll zoom in here for a second so you can see this little ball here, you can move it off of that subject and then move it to the one that you actually want. So say I want this to be moved up to keywords, I can go ahead and I can do that. So I really like using this for my students because it's so visually pleasing and you're able to really visualize your research. Again, that's more geared towards academic libraries, but I know that, you know, public libraries, school libraries and stuff like that, I think that this would be quite helpful with interacting with students or even patrons who come in with different ideas that they kind of need to flesh out. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to go back into templates. And then they've got this research and design. So if you have, say, somebody come in and they want to work on, say that they're trying to build an app or they're trying to build a website, they've got things for that you can introduce them to. Maybe they're a writer and they want to flesh out an idea for a book. We've got brain writing here. And if you scroll down again, you've just got so many ideas that you can do with these. I like doing the workflows sometimes when I'm writing a research paper so that I can kind of see where I'm at in each stage. So again, if you hit preview, you can get a filled in one or you can use a blank one. I'm going to go ahead and hit pre-filled so that you can kind of see what it looks like. I'm going to just scroll out a little bit. And so this is kind of what their flow of their work looks like. Now, again, you can add things here. So if I wanted to add another bar, I can do that here. If I wanted to add one down here, so it would make another section. So depending on how you want to do it, it's completely customizable. So up here, let me unclick that. Up here, again, you have full control over editing. You can change how it is. You can add a row, you can add a column. So if you didn't want to use these little pluses here, you can just go ahead and click on it and then just say, I want to add a column. And then, of course, the same thing applies with this, that all the other templates, if you click on here, if it's going to listen to me, there we go. You can copy, paste, remove row, remove column. And then if you go over here, of course, you can use the comment button to say like, needs to be moved to in progress. And so this is just a nifty way to kind of organize your thoughts with it. So now that we've kind of learned about the basics, of Lily, or not Lily, of Miro, real quick, if you just right click here, you can edit things on your board. So if you wanted to add text, if you wanted to add a sticky note real quick. So these things are ones that are already clicked for you. So if you didn't like the grid background, you can get rid of that completely. I like the grid just because it kind of lines everything up. But that's obviously completely up to you. So I'm going to bring the grid back. So snap objects means that things are snapped together. And when the suggest object size, that means that when you add maybe like a sticky note, it's going to be however zoomed in or zoomed out you are, it's going to be a suggested size. But again, you can always kind of mess with things. Up here at the top, you have another window or another menu bar. So some of these features I'm going to show are not in the free version. So the timer is not in the free version, which is unfortunate, but with it, you get access to voting, video chat, and the timer. So if you say, you know, students, you have 5 minutes to complete this assignment in here, you would add that timer to it. And then when it's done, you know, they can't do it anymore. Here's the voting. So you can vote on ideas, you know, whether they're good or bad. Estimation is one that I've never used before, so I'm not quite sure how that works. I'm going to be quite honest. Here is where you would do presentation mode. So if you had a frame here, as you can see, it says no slides. So if you just add a frame, boop, when you go into presentation mode, it's going to automatically present whatever's in the frame. And then you've got different apps that you can download for using it. So if you have multiple people on a board, you can always chat with them, which I really like. And you can always go ahead and get more apps. And this can kind of help with your ability to use it. So they've got apps by categories, you know, apps by how you're going to use them. So you can integrate Miro into Google Meet. You can integrate it into Teams, which is really fun. If you use Slack, you can do it like that. Miro for Zoom, which is really fun. It means that you can collaborate, you know, directly inside of Zoom, which I really appreciate. And so these are just ones that you can kind of come down and you can explore with them. But the good thing is that it's collaboration based. So you're able to use them in conjunction with other people. Now, I will say with the shared or with the free version, when you go up to share, it will give you these the ability to do things with it. So if you have people on a team, those people with the team can go ahead and edit, so you can copy that link. Unfortunately, anyone with a link cannot do anything. So you can go ahead and you can view, and I'm going to throw that into chat. So you can actually go ahead and you can come and view what's on here. But you're not able to edit unless you have an account and you're part of that team. So just be aware that if you want to use this with somebody in collaboration, then they're all going to have a Miro account, which is unfortunate. Previously, with the free version, you were able to share it with people and they could edit and they would just show up as guests, but they've changed that recently. And then here you have the reactions. So just like in Zoom where you can like raise your hands. So if I hit raise hands, it has a little icon right here, and then I can always lower all. And you can see somebody else came in as a viewer, which is really fun. Or if I thought something was a really good idea, I could hit fire and it brings it up and it says who actually did it, which is, I think, really fun. Okay, so up here on the other side, you have another menu. And here is where you can, what I mainly use this for is for exporting the board. So if you hit export board, you can save as an image, as a PDF. If you create a template, you can save it as a template that you can use continuously. And you can save it to Google Drive. So there's lots of ways that you can kind of save your work. But remember, if it's not in a frame, it will not show up. So if I hit save as image, you know, I can choose what to do. right now I can only do small, so I'm going to export that. And it's just going to be whatever I chose to show in here. When you do PDF, oh, come back. That is when the frames is going to show up. So if I hit export and that loads, I can go ahead and, oh, there it is. Okay, I was about to say, oh no, I can pull that up and we can see what it looks like. So since I have nothing on it, it's just going to be that, that frame. So whatever you have as a frame is going to show up within the PDF. With the picture, you can kind of fudge things a bit, as you saw, but with the PDF version, it's only going to download what's in a frame. So if I wanted to add another frame here and then add maybe some sticky notes. And I'm going to just adjust these real quick. When I hit save as a PDF now and hit export, and we can see what that looks like. It should come up as 2 pages. Yep. And then when you scroll down, you have your sticky notes. Now the file size, of course, you don't have an option with the free one. So if you hit save PDF, it's always going to be a small. I've used both the small and the best quality. I've not seen much of a difference between it, but that's just my eyes. And then over here on this cogwheel for settings, you can change different preferences. So if I wanted this board to be something that I can continuously go to, I can go ahead and star it. If I wanted to make a copy of it, so say I'm teaching multiple classes, I can go ahead and make a copy. For the preferences, this is how you navigate it. So I do auto switch. You can just do mouse or trackpad. So if you don't have a mouse on your laptop, you can always use the trackpad for it. So I use a line grid, but you can always change to a dot grid if that is your preference. And then these are all checked. So aligning objects. So it shows you when things are not aligned. It has, if it lets me. Oh no, because come on, click. There we go. It will show you like a line when it. So if you see in the middle there when it's aligned, which I appreciate. But you can also change it to where you see the object's dimensions. That's not something I'm super interested in, but again, it's there for you. And then if you're using an interactive display, you can go ahead and send it to that interactive display, which I really like. That's how I used it previously at my last job. So that's the basics for the board. I'm going to go back to where the board is, and then you can kind of see over here, if I wanted to create a new team, I can go ahead and do that. And go ahead and create that team. Now it's going to come up and ask me to pay because you cannot have more than one team. Unfortunately, just like you can only have a couple of boards, but as people have said in the comments, there are free versions for educators, and you do get access to a lot of the different things. The last thing that I want to show you is Miroverse. So if you click on that, it's going to take you in what they call the Miroverse. And this is where you can get different ideas and stuff like that on Miro, if it ever loads. The last time I did this, it took a while to load because there's so much in it. There we go. So this is where you get templates. So you can do it by what's new. So people are looking at a football soccer retrospective. Would not have thought about that. Halloween retrospective. That's funny. Secret Santa, which I find very interesting. And you can also submit a template here. If you're looking for something, you can actually search for it by topic. So if I did mind map, I can go ahead and search that, and then it'll show me all the ones that are associated with mind and map. Again, it's searching both words, so that's why you get this mapping toolkit and stuff like that. But you've also got, you know, a business mind map, the effect map, staffing week map. So if you're doing staffing, you can do it in here. It just kind of depends. And as you scroll down, it adds more. So if we go back to home, well, nope, go back to boards. They do have help. So this was meant to just kind of be an introductory to it. If you go up here to this question mark, it's their learning center. And this is where you can find information about how to use their templates. You can go to their different webinars. So if you click on that, it'll open up, and they have webinars every month, a couple times a month. So, you know, hosting your next accessible brainstorm, mapping, diagramming, and presenting in Miro. So those are really helpful. I've been to several of those. They do have an academy to where you go in and you kind of learn how to use it more intricately than what my surface level training is going through. And so that's what this looks like. And to my knowledge, all of this information is completely free. I've been to several of their webinars and they're really fun. I haven't used the Academy yet, but I'm thinking about doing that. And then of course you can download Miro. So they just did an update to their app. So you can use it on your Apple or your Android. You can download it for Windows. So just like Canva, they have their own little application, so you don't constantly have to come into a web browser. And then of course you can download to use with interactive displays, which I really appreciate. And then, yeah, so if you like Miro, you can always come here and kind of teach yourself how to use it on a more advanced scale. But that is, in a nutshell, Miro. So I don't know, I was trying to get to 12:50 for questions. Is that?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Jenny.
Yeah.
The presentation was awesome. And I also wanted to add, it's really great for MLIS students like myself, because we have to do a lot of group projects, and especially working, you know, in an online environment, it's great to have the sticky notes and the way of like, almost like a whiteboard without having to be in person. So I think that was great. So I'll start with the question.
Sure.
I actually had a question is, what do you see the benefits of Miro compared to Canva or Microsoft Office?
So with Miro, I know Canva is actually integrating a whiteboard feature into it, which is really fun. I'm excited about that. But I would say Miro is more collaborative with actually like brainstorming and mind mapping and, you know, the icebreakers that I showed and stuff like that. Whereas Canva I see as more as a creating displays and social media things, social media posts and stuff like that. Interactive, of course, but not as interactive as like on the spot. We're in a meeting, I'm pulling it up and we're all typing down our ideas. I've never used Canva that way. If somebody has, let me know. That would be really cool. And then with Microsoft, again, I don't see it as being as collaborative unless you're working on like a Word document within Microsoft, and then you can see multiple people like working on it at once. I feel like Miro gives you the ability to aesthetically pleasingly have ideas shown and created without just having like bullet points to where you have to kind of organize it. Whereas with Miro, you can just drag and drop it and connect it that way. So I see it as more of a collaboration tool than Canva or Microsoft.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And then April had a question, which I know was answered in the chat, but I'll ask it. Is there any limit to how many people can work on the board at the same time?
Yeah, so with the free version, I'm pretty sure, I think the limit is 50. Don't quote me on that. But with the paid version, as said in the chat, I've been on there to where it's been hundreds of people, and it doesn't seem like there's a limit. Like April said, I don't know 200 people. So usually I just use it with like 5 to 10 people. And that's kind of the max that I've had it be used at. But in their webinars and stuff like that, you get to play around, and there are just hundreds of people in those. So there doesn't seem to be a limit for the paid version.
Got it. Okay. And then Catherine had a question are there any templates that you can only access with the paid version?
Yes, actually, let me go ahead and share my screen again real quick. So if you go to the show all for the templates, it's not a lot, but there are a couple to where you'll see, and I'm going to struggle to find one probably, a little like crown next to it, that says that, you know, you're not able to use it unless you're the paid version. I've only run into that maybe 3 times. Most of their templates are completely free. And then if you go into community templates, these are ones that people have created themselves. And so these are completely free as well. Again, I've only run into it a couple times to where I couldn't use it. Otherwise, as far as I know, they're all completely free, except for maybe a couple. Oh, Natalie, I think you're muted.
I muted because you were talking.
No, you're good.
And then another question is, could you make each cell of that table a frame, or make a row of cells a frame? That was from Kimberly.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So I shouldn't have deleted everything. Share again. So that was with that specific template. So if I get that template up again, it should be, yep, in recent. So it was this workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pre-filled. And let me move this over. Oh, not the content, not the content. Select, move it. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so if you wanted to make these all one frame, or if you wanted to make them multiple different frames, you would click on custom frame, and that brings the frame out that you want. And then you would just create it to that block. And then you would do that with all the other ones. So you would create custom frame. And since you already have it in that size, it's going to do that size again. So we've got frame 4, frame 5, just scroll over, and then frame 6. And so when you download this as a PDF, it'll be, right now it'll be 6 pages because I've got these frames in here. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Delete. Ooh. I always get the right and left one confused, even though I've been using this for years. So now when you download it, it's just going to be these 4 frames. And then when you present it, you can go ahead, you can zoom in on the thing, but since they're so close together, it's not going to be like one large frame, but you would go here, here, and then there. So it tracks the different frames that you have. Hopefully that answered your question.
Right. And then now April had another question. She said, I know you use Miro for your library class, but what about your one-shot class? You might do for other faculty members to use it there too, or does it take too long for a new class to get it and get their bearings for one-shots?
So I think it would, It would be too much if I had the non-free version. I think it wouldn't be too much to be able to use within a one-shot class, because then what you would do is you would just give everybody a link. They would click on that link and they would go in and they'd be able to do what they want to. I usually use it for my my LIBR class because it's a semester-long class, and so at the beginning, you know, I say go ahead and make this account, and then we're going to be using this board for our class. So it's kind of like a Google Jamboards, just a little bit more advanced. Yeah, so you could use it as a one shot. I've never done that before. In my previous position, I didn't teach a whole bunch. And so I used it more for meetings and creative outlet.
All right, and then the last question comes from Jessica, and it says, I might have missed this, but does Miro allow you to hyperlink objects, add a shape, and have the shape linked to the web page to share an external resource, aside from pasting in a new URL? Canvas Whiteboard doesn't allow it for hyperlink objects in whiteboard mode than I'm aware.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can actually, so if I go to, say I create a shape here, you can go ahead and you can hit insert link, and then I'm just going to use our library's website as a link. Copy, you would paste that link there, you would hit apply. And so it does show up as a link here and go like that. But if you do it on, let me see if I can upload a picture real quick. If you do it on a picture, so this is my, oh, where did it go? Okay. So if you insert this picture as it's updating. Okay, there we go. You can go over here and you can hit link to, and then you would paste the link, you would hit confirm. And now when they click on this, it should take them straight to the website. Or you can go up here and you can copy the link here, and nope, that's the link to the thingy. You can copy the link here, but it does show you if you go up here to this where that T is, that's the logo for our library. So if you click on that, it'll take you straight there. Let me try a different place. I'm trying to think of like a different address. Let's just do Google. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And then if you click here and you go edit link, we can add something else. We can hit confirm, and then it'll take you straight to Google. So if you had like something on here that you wanted your students to go somewhere specifically, you would be able to do that, and then it would just be show up as a little icon on the top of the picture, and they would be able to click there and go to it. So it does offer a little bit more ability than the Canva whiteboard.
All right, and then looks like that was the last question. Thank you so much, Jenny, again for the presentation. And feel free to email us if you're interested in presenting or learning more about Lily. I will put the emails in the chat. And then don't forget to join us for the next show and tell, which is November 30th at 10:30. At 10 a.m. PST, and we will be having a citation manager roundtable Q&A. And I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.